Around mid-December, there was news that the United States Air Force would be purchasing two 747-8 aircraft from German carrier Lufthansa to support the future Air Force One program. Wasting very little time after the news went public, the 747-8 has already left the Lufthansa fleet for the United States. Let's take a brief look at the airframe and the ferry flight for today's video. The first of two Lufthansa 747-8s heading to the US Air Force has aircraft registration Delta Alpha Bravo Yankee Delta. As a quick recap on the situation, the Air Force said the following in a December statement to media. Given the 747-8I is no longer in active production and is a very different aircraft than the 747-200, it is important for the Air Force to establish an overall training and sustainment strategy for the future Air Force 747-8I fleet. Per planespotters.net, the jet has Boeing serial number 37829 and line number 1453. Delivered to Lufthansa in August 2012, the airframe at the time of making this video has an age of 13.5 years. The jet's very last service as a commercial passenger aircraft was flight LH455 from San Francisco to Frankfurt on December 30th. Then, after a little over a week of inactivity, the jet seemingly took a test flight out of and back into Frankfurt on January 8th as flight LH9930. The 1 hour and 46-minute flight saw it head out over Berlin, then over Dresden, before returning to Frankfurt. We assume that the downtime after the 747's final commercial flight consisted of a full stripping of the jet's passenger cabin. The aircraft was configured with 8 seats in first class, 80 in business, 32 premium economy seats and 244 economy seats. But 8 days after that Frankfurt test flight, the jet would fully leave Lufthansa with its ferry flight to the United States on January 16th. Registered as November 747-8 Echo at that point, the jet flew from Frankfurt to Bangor, Maine in about 8 hours. Along with the change in registration was a change in ownership. Planespotters.net states that the jet was moved to be under the care of an entity known as TVPX Trust Services. This is obviously an interim move as the US Air Force will ultimately be taking ownership of the aircraft. Its configuration is now listed as being Crew Trainer. After arriving in Bangor, the jet took off for Waco, Texas about an hour later, which would appear to be a simple and quick refueling stop. Of course, an emptied-out 747-8 should have had the ability to fly from Frankfurt to Texas non-stop, and so we imagine the stop in Bangor may have also been related to customs processing and essentially an importing of an aircraft, though we doubt that any tariffs would have been charged for this purchase. But as of making this video in late January, the 747 remains at Waco, Texas State Technical College Airport, which just happens to also be the home of US defense contractor L3 Harris Technologies. Did you follow this aircraft as it left the Lufthansa fleet? Let us know by leaving a comment. In addition to our daily YouTube videos, Simple Flying publishes over 150 articles every week. If you're looking for the latest aviation news and insights, visit simpleflying.com.